David Thorne had it all. At 45, he was the CEO of Thorne Innovations, a tech empire built on his relentless drive and razor-sharp intellect. His glass-walled office offered a panoramic view of the bustling city below, a testament to his ambition. Yet, beneath the polished facade of success, David carried a quiet burden, a profound loneliness. He craved authenticity, a genuine connection that his world of board meetings and quarterly reports simply couldn't provide. His one true solace was music, not the elevator music of corporate lobbies, but raw, passionate melodies that spoke to the soul. He owned a magnificent grand piano, a Steinway D-274, gleaming like a black jewel in his penthouse living room. He'd hired the best, flown in renowned pianists from around the globe, each tasked with one singular challenge: to bring his vision of a particular elusive melody to life. And each, in turn, had failed. They played with technical brilliance, yes, but their performances felt empty, sterile. They lacked the heart he so desperately sought. No, 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 he'd groaned, waving a dismissive hand, the echo of another perfectly executed but soulless rendition fading into the vast silence of his penthouse. It's technically flawless, I grant you, but where's the feeling? Where's the soul? It's a series of notes, not a story. His frustration mounted with each failed attempt, deepening the chasm of his isolation. He began to believe that the music he heard in his mind simply couldn't be brought into existence by another. He yearned for something more than just technical perfection. He yearned for a connection, for someone who understood the unspoken language of his soul, a language he believed only music could speak. This pursuit of perfection, ironically, had only led to a deeper void. But what if the very thing he sought wasn't found in grand concert halls, but in the most unlikely of places? Emily wasn't charting a course for artistic greatness. Her daily grind was a symphony of buzzing traffic, barking dogs, and the rhythmic thud of packages. At 28, she was a delivery girl, navigating the labyrinthine streets of the city, her old sedan packed with everything from gourmet coffee to designer shoes. Life's demands were relentless, each invoice a reminder of bills to pay and dreams deferred. Once, long ago, Emily had played the piano. The dusty upright in her childhood home had been her sanctuary, a place where melodies flowed effortlessly from her fingertips, carrying away the worries of the world. But adulting, as she wryly called it, had little room for such luxuries. Her fingers, once nimble on the keys, were now accustomed to gripping steering wheels and scanning barcodes. Her passion, like a beloved book, was tucked away on a forgotten shelf, gathering dust. One blustery Tuesday, Emily found herself making a delivery to the Thorne Innovations building, a rare, high-priority package personally addressed to David Thorne. The sheer opulence of the penthouse apartment took her breath away. As she waited for a signature, her gaze drifted to the grand piano, gleaming under the soft light. It was a masterpiece, a silent promise of magnificent sound. From a half-open door, she overheard snippets of David's booming voice, laced with frustration. No passion, just technique. Doesn't feel right. He was clearly dismissing yet another musician. Emily felt a flicker, a tiny spark in her chest. She remembered the thrill of pouring emotion into a melody, of letting the music speak what words couldn't. Driven by an impulsive curiosity, a quiet dare from her forgotten past, she found herself walking towards the piano. Her heart hammered a nervous rhythm against her ribs. What was she doing? She was just a delivery girl. But her fingers, as if guided by an unseen force, hovered over the keys. It was an act of pure, unadulterated courage, a small rebellion against the ordinary. Could one spontaneous act change everything? Her fingers, a little stiff at first, found familiar comfort on the ivory. The first few notes filled the silent mansion, carrying with them not just music, but the unspoken possibility of connection. David Thorne was mid-rant, pacing his office like a caged tiger, when a soft, hesitant melody drifted in. He paused, his frown deepening. Who was that? Another audacious hopeful? He strode out, prepared to deliver his usual curt dismissal. But then he stopped dead. The music wasn't technically flawless. There were slight hesitations, a note here or there that wasn't perfectly struck. Yet, it was undeniably beautiful. It was raw, authentic, infused with a genuine emotion that pierced through the polished veneer of his penthouse and straight into his soul. It was the sound he'd been desperately searching for, a melody that spoke of longing, of hope, of an understated strength. He watched her, a young woman with tired eyes and a smudge of dirt on her cheek, lost in the music. Her hands, calloused from work, moved with an almost ethereal grace. She wasn't trying to impress. She was simply feeling. And in that feeling, David saw everything he'd been missing. His defenses, meticulously built over years of cutthroat business, began to crumble. Disbelief warred with awe. How could she? A delivery girl? This wasn't the polished performance of a concert pianist. This was something far more profound. This was art. This was life. He stood there, unmoving, captivated. Each note Emily played was a revelation, chipping away at his cynicism, exposing a vulnerability he hadn't known he possessed. He realized this wasn't just music. It was a conversation, a quiet outpouring of a soul that understood his own unspoken yearning. The emotional impact was profound, a resonance that vibrated deep within him. He felt a tear prick the corner of his eye, a sensation he hadn't experienced in years. Discover how a spontaneous melody unlocked a hidden truth. The truth that true artistry wasn't about perfection, but about heart. But their connection wasn't just about music. It was about two souls finding common ground in the most uncommon of circumstances. The final chord hung in the air, a gentle sigh. Emily slowly lifted her hands, her heart pounding. She looked up, startled, to find David Thorne standing there, his usual stern expression replaced by one of profound wonder. Who are you?" David's voice was a rough whisper. "Emily, your delivery for..." She gestured vaguely, her cheeks flushing. David simply nodded, still processing. That was remarkable. He didn't offer praise in the usual corporate jargon. His words were heartfelt, raw. "Where did you learn to play like that?" Emily shrugged, a faint smile touching her lips. "My mom taught me. It's been a while." And so began an unlikely bridge. David didn't just offer Emily a job. He offered her an opportunity to rediscover herself, not as his personal pianist, but as someone who truly understood the essence of what he was looking for, someone who could help him connect to that elusive feeling. He wanted her perspective, her untainted view on the world. Emily, hesitant at first, found herself drawn into David's world. She brought a refreshing, grounded perspective to his often rigid corporate environment. She saw through the titles and the grandeur, seeing David for the man he was. Ambitious, yes, but also lonely and surprisingly vulnerable. She taught him about the beauty of simple moments, about finding joy in the everyday. She'd bring him stories from her delivery route, tales of kindness and struggle that opened his eyes to a world beyond his executive bubble. In turn, David, with his quiet encouragement and unwavering belief, helped Emily shed her insecurities. He gave her the space, the time, and the resources to reclaim her artistic confidence. He didn't push her. He simply listened, truly listened, to her struggles and her dreams. He saw her not just as a musician, but as an intelligent, compassionate woman with a unique perspective. Their collaboration wasn't just about finding the perfect melody for David's vision. It was about understanding each other's worlds. They spent hours talking, sharing, and even laughing, something David rarely did. They were two contrasting lives, finding a beautiful common rhythm, built on mutual respect and shared vulnerabilities. They realized that true value often lay beyond superficial achievements, in the quiet strength of shared humanity. See how two contrasting lives found a beautiful common rhythm. Their journey together was a testament to the idea that the greatest solutions often emerge from the simplest, most human connections. The harmony they found wasn't just in the notes, but in the shared laughter, the understanding glances, and the quiet comfort of knowing someone truly gets you. David, once isolated by his success, now found joy in collaboration, in shared vulnerability, and in the simple, beautiful act of connecting with another soul. His life, previously a perfectly constructed but empty symphony, was now filled with vibrant, authentic melodies. He learned that true fulfillment wasn't found in what he gained, but in what he shared. Emily, who had once given up on her dreams, now played with a passion rekindled, her music echoing the newfound purpose in her life. She was no longer just a delivery girl. She was an artist, a confidant, a friend. Her journey reminded her that even when life forces us to put our passions aside, they are never truly lost, simply waiting for the right moment to reemerge. The love in our title wasn't a whirlwind romance. It was a profound appreciation for human connection, for shared passion, and for the unexpected ways life brings us together. David's previously isolated life opened up, becoming richer and more meaningful because of the intrusion of a delivery girl and her music. This isn't just a story about music. It's a story about the power of authentic connection to fill the voids we sometimes don't even realize we have. It's about remembering that the solutions to our biggest challenges often lie not in seeking out the grand and elaborate, but in embracing the simple, human moments that life unexpectedly delivers. It's about trust, the trust to be vulnerable, the trust to believe in another, and the trust that sometimes the greatest treasures are found in the most unassuming packages. If this story resonated with you, and you believe in the magic of unexpected connections, consider subscribing to our channel. We explore more stories like this, reminding you that trust, connection, and gentle solutions are often just a melody or a delivery away. And tell us in the comments, what's an unexpected connection that changed your life?